quitting drinking is too hard. I think everyone has that thought at some time or another. But fortunately, it is just a thought. And what is a thought? Well, it's a sentence in your head. It's not a fact. But if you repeat that thought often enough, it can certainly feel like a fact. You don't need to be a genius to realise that if you are trying to take action whilst deeply and truly believing that this sobriety stuff is just too hard, then you're going to set yourself up for trouble. If you think sobriety is too hard, then of course you're going to give up as soon as you have a bad day or as soon as there's an unexpected challenge, because there's already this part of you that believes it was just too much of an ask in the first place. So today, let's zoom in on this unhelpful thought that sobriety is too hard. Because attached to that thought is often another sneaky one, that not only is sobriety hard work now, but it's always going to feel that way. And that is not super motivating to hear. Before we go any further, I want you to know this. I am a pretty lazy person, really. I like an easy life. So I always said right from the beginning that if alcohol-free living required a lot of long-term effort, energy, and hard work, I would not be available for that. I'm not interested in that. But in the end, the reason that I never went back to drinking is because I realised that alcohol-free living is easier. It is an easier and happier way of life. Now, of course, does sobriety require some effort to get going? Does it take some work to build up momentum and get used to handling life a bit differently? Yes, it does. And that's why so many people get support with this stuff, because when you're trying to figure this out on your own, you can tie yourself up in knots with your own unhelpful thinking. I always think it's a bit like learning to drive a car. If you had enough time and patience, you could probably figure out how to drive on your own. You could Google a lot of it, but it is quicker and easier and safer to get some help. And getting your sober car on the road is just the same. If you are struggling to get it going, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. You probably just need some instruction. You need someone to show you where you're going wrong in your thinking or your three-point turns. But just because you need driving lessons to get going doesn't mean you're going to need them for the rest of your life. You will get the hang of driving and sobriety if you learn how to do it the right way. It really will not be hard work forever. If you're still not convinced that alcohol-free living is worth it or that this is going to get easier, here's something else for you to consider. Right now, if you're drinking and suffering because of it, because alcohol is creating consequences for you that you don't like, then the truth is, you actually can't avoid life being hard no matter what you do next. And what I mean by that is, if you choose to carry on drinking, you've got to deal with the hangovers and regrets and everything else that comes with that. That is hard. And it's always going to be hard because alcohol never changes. It never gets easier to deal with. If anything, it gets worse. So you can choose that kind of hard, or you can choose the discomfort of stepping out of your comfort zone, test driving sobriety and learning something new. And that might well feel hard to start with because it's new. But guess what? It won't be hard forever. It will get easier with time if you are doing the right mindset work and you push through your limiting beliefs. And that's exactly the kind of work that I help women do inside my Getting Unstuck course. So like I said, you want to choose your hard. Choose the hard option that feels best for you, given that you have got to face discomfort no matter what you do next. And I really mean it when I say that drinking is hard. It infuriates me when people imply that drinkers are weak-willed, because they're really not. You have to be rock hard to be able to ingest bucketfuls of this toxic poison, sleep only half the night, wake up hating yourself, and then go about your day pretending that everything's fine and there's absolutely nothing to see here because everything is fine. I have huge respect for you if you are managing that right now and somehow managing to keep your life, the show on the road. It is really hard. And in fact, something you might like to do for yourself is to get clear on just how hard that is. Write down a list of all the reasons why drinking alcohol is hard work. Because I bet there are loads of things that you could put on a list like that, and that would be a useful list to have. Put your brain to work on that and see if it shifts things a bit for you in terms of how you feel about the hardness of sobriety as well. So scroll down to the comments and let me know, why is drinking alcohol a bit too much like hard work? Let's have a conversation about that. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments, and I'm wishing you a great week ahead.